It's a Summer Line Vision update presented by CB&S Bank with UNA head football coach Chris Willis. Summer workouts have wrapped up, Coach. The team reports this week. But first, let's recap the summer. Some guys were here in June. Some guys were here in July. Really, everybody was here in July. But take us through this summer and the progress the team made and how nice it was having everybody here.
Yeah, I mean, in the month of June, we pretty much had just returners. Older guys were here in and out. It wasn't a schedule set up mandatory type deal. They kind of worked out on their own, but we had a good group. Majority of them were here. We didn't do any meetings or it was no football. It was just strictly them being here. Weight room was open 3 times out of the day. They were in one of those sessions, and at the end of the day, that was the start of it. And then we turned around and in the month of July, here we bring them all in, all the scholarship players. Walk-ons were allowed to come if they wanted to, but we're not able to, to furnish anything for those guys. But pretty much the whole team was here, and that's where we actually had them on a schedule, and we had meetings and lifting, and they had their 7-on-7s, and it was just a great summer. Steve Herron and his staff did a great job, and he sent me a text after the conditioning test on Friday morning and said they all killed it, knocked it out. It just we're going into fall camp probably in the best shape we've ever been since I've been here, and I got here in 2002. And so, you're just able to do a lot more in Division I, meaning that you can put them up and pay for summer school. You can help feed them. You can do some things you're just not able to do in Division II.
Coach, as we head into July with camp approaching, you go back to spring, one of the areas that you were worried about was the defensive line. You've added some transfers, a linebacker as well. Do you feel like you've shored up that position as we head into camp?
I do. I think we ended up signing around 8-9 guys, which, we took a hit there. We lost a lot of a lot of guys who played a lot. And so I do. I feel like, it's a lot of new faces. And still got to shuffle through to see who's going to do what. But we feel really good about that position. It went from the weakest position on defense, I think, the strongest reporting into camp. And so, we got some spots up for grabs. We got some unknowns. We're going to see who's going to take over. We're still kind of youth. We're very young from the linebacker back, with the exception of maybe Christian Taylor and Will Evans, who's been around. And it's hard to believe we're considering them older guys. They're going into their junior year. But exciting things on that side of the ball, but the D-line for sure looks like we've kind of filled our needs.
Let's touch on Jacoby Bird, a redshirt sophomore from Florence High School, a preseason All-Big South Conference selection. A very talented group of wide receivers return, but what can you say about the honor for Jacoby Bird?
Yeah, no, that was a tough situation you go into. I have to vote on their players, and didn't play against all of them, played against one team. And, on their side, they had to vote for our players, but they didn't play us. And it was a little disappointing, when I sit down, and I'm happy for Jacoby by all means. That part's not disappointing. But when I turned in all our names and I look at the stats, I thought we were very comparable. And in some cases, I thought we had better stats. But I guess just because we haven't played each other, they don't know our guys. But, yeah, that was a great honor just for him. And I think Christian Lopez got honorable mention. I told our guys preseason honors are necessarily not the main ones. You want what comes at the end of the season. So, let's get after it on the field on Saturdays, and you'll see a lot more honors.
The team reports on Wednesday. Practice will start as well this week. Coach, take us through the first couple of days and what the guys will expect.
Well, actually, we report Tuesday tomorrow. And what we do on the first day is pretty much all the paperwork, your meetings, offensively, defensively. You meet as a whole team. You do a lot of different things, but we'll come back in Wednesday. We'll get going first practice. You can only go in helmets the first 2 days. Really, we're so far ahead of the game, and we're so used to not having these guys here, but now we've had them here in July, so we've already pretty much done a lot of installing. So right now it's just getting the whole team out there together, all the coaches together, all at one time and getting started. We're going to stay separate tomorrow's practice. Defense will stay on their end, offense on their end, go about 21 periods, kind of just get in the groove of things. And then Thursday we'll kind of start mixing it up, going against each other a little bit. But once again, it's still helmet. So you have to take care of each other, and you got to practice in the right way.
Football season has arrived. The Lions are set to open up practice this week. Be sure to visit RoarLions.com for all your UNA football updates.